What's going on, everybody? It is Jay Wilson, and yeah, we're trying out some new stuff. We did the test, we were rocking with it, and now we're just going to go full-fledged. Right now, I believe, if I'm correct, we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube right now, and it's just to see how this works. I'm curious to kind of break the mold of what I'm used to and ultimately do some really cool stuff. So I appreciate you taking time out of your day, your night, and listening to this video. We got a little Weller and Coke Zero. Do me a favor, follow us on Instagram. It's jwill07. We've got some really cool content, and hey, you never know, it might be fun. So today's video is going to be about where do we go from here? And when I preface that, it is truly where do we go from here? Because there's a lot of different things that are transpiring right now in life, and we have to learn to, pivot. We have to learn to make adjustments, and ultimately we have to make sure that those decisions that we're making are for the betterment of ourselves and those that are directly around us. And so I'm mainly talking about aquariums as well, because at some point, I'm going to have to move these again. And you're probably like, what? You just moved. And technically I did less than a year ago when I fell out of the attic. But there's a lot of stuff that has happened over the last couple of months. Of course, a lot of it has to do with COVID. A lot of it has to do with just life, and we're going to get into that. And I would really love to see some of your feedback on what you would do in this situation, because just because I'm going through the situation doesn't mean no one else will. I'm not special in any way. I'm going to go through very similar things that everyone else goes through. Do me another favor. Like and share this video. It would be greatly appreciated, only for the sheer fact that it ultimately allows this channel to grow. And if this channel is growing, then there's a lot of cool stuff that we are able to do with you and ultimately for your entertainment. So let me digress a little bit. I've got the 100-gallon in front of me. I've got the 185 right behind me. I've got the plants actually this way. I've got a saltwater aquarium. Roughly total gallons is about 40 gallons, I believe. And I've got all of the beta tanks that Wendy is taking care of. I've got Slash, the turtle tank, and the zebra plecos have sold, so that's really cool. But we've got the shrimp tank. We've got the other two desktop aquariums. There's a lot. And the idea was we weren't going to be moving right away. And that was great. I can fit 37-inch tires on stock suspension on my Buick LeSabre. Thanks, Brantley. Bring your Buick LeSabre to help us out. How's that? It is really, really nerve-wracking not to move aquariums, but to pick the best situation and then to deal with those stressors and life within that specific situation, right? So, for instance, the lease runs to the end of June. When we first signed the lease, I was asked, do I want to sign a 2-year lease? Of course, I said no, because I didn't want to be trapped into a 2-year lease. The home is beautiful. It's a roof over our heads. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fit our lifestyle. It's dark in many places. It doesn't bring in a ton of light. The neighborhood's a little crowded, but I'm not complaining about that. What I'm saying is I have an opportunity to go. Should I take that opportunity? And then that opportunity involves a lot of logistical planning because we have aquariums. And not just tiny ones. I even have a custom aquariums Paludarium sitting in the living room that I'm going to 1/4 build so that I can still move it without livestock. Chase just asked if I live on base, and no, I live in Edmond in a neighborhood right between Edmond and Oklahoma City. Like literally, I can throw a football 1/4 mile. I can throw a football and be in Oklahoma City, and I could do the same thing Edmond. It's really weird the way they do things. It's a Deer Creek school system. It's Oklahoma City utilities, and it's Edmond mailing address. Super weird. So I asked the landlord, who's been great, by the way, I said, is there any way that I can go month to month? Now, I knew that this was a big ask, right? But the idea for me was if I can go month to month, then I have the ability to house my aquariums without having to break them down, move them, hold them, and move them again, depending on the situation. So I got no. But it was like, I would love to help you, but no. And if I did that, you could potentially hurt my opportunity to bring in renters. So I understand that. And I have to take that into an account. So do I re-up for a year or not? And it's really tough. So just with that information, what would you folks do? You've got 11 aquariums. You have to be out by June 30th unless you re-up for a whole year. Do you re-up for a year, or do you look for a house? Or do you look for another rental place? So somebody said mobile aquatics could be my next new thing. Absolutely not taking on any new things right now. I'm not going to be a hobo. And if I was, I would be a fab hobo. I appreciate a lot of you folks that are in here right now. I've got folks that haven't been able to do a live stream just because they were working. I'm not going to keep gerbils, and I'm not going to go pet a buffalo. There's some random questions in here. So I have to figure out that part of the decision, right? But where else would you move? How is the housing market in your area? Are you ready to buy? Bingo. Say no to re-upping. Like, this is the interaction that I'm looking for. So Tiffany, here's the market. It's crazy. Houses last hours. People are selling to buy. My rent is affordable rent for me. For the things and the space that I needed, it is affordable for me. However, right now, with the interest rates as low as they are, I could be in a home twice the size of this for the same price. Keep in mind, I have a lot of benefits from being a veteran, and it allows me to basically take on a bigger home with no money down, and also I don't pay property taxes. So it's really beneficial. That's great. I am in the position to buy. So I thought. This is where the stress comes in. So 11 aquariums, that's great. Mainly this is the big one. What do? I break it down. I move it again. That's fine. I've done this many times, but there's 10 other aquariums that I have to deal with. People are saying don't re-up, buy. So that's the idea. I have went 100% into buying because here was the second piece of information. I then asked the landlord, you know what? Is there any way that I can sign a 6-month lease? It's only going to allow me to harbor the aquariums so that he didn't have to move them, less stress, and then potentially I can go to somebody that I know that builds. If I give you 6 months, I'm going to up the rent. I understand from a business perspective. I understand from a selection perspective, but I also understand from a money perspective. No way, man. Not happening. So we decided we're going to buy. I have the two major options, and this is where it gets sticky. I've been stressed the last few days because there has been, Connecticut is nice this time of year. Absolutely not moving back to Connecticut. I am not moving back to England. My son is here. The things that I enjoy are here. My aquariums are here, and I'm not trucking them to Connecticut. Maybe you should try to find a home before June. Start now. So I am. I found a home that's in pre-build, right? And the idea for the pre-build is they've already laid the foundation. I love the layout. It provides everything. And so I already know how much the house is going to cost. I got the pre-approval letter. We handed to the builder along with some earnest money. They never said what they required, so I came up with $1,500. I thought that was okay. They didn't give me anything. I said $1,500 and let's rock and roll. I'll sign the ditties and we'll jam. Investing your money is a win-win. Why continue to spend money on someone else's investments and not your own? North Texas sounds good. No, just moved from Texas. I'm enjoying Oklahoma. So I'm not complaining in any way. I'm just faced with different stressors. We all do. It's called life. And aquariums make it even more stressful. Because if I didn't have the aquariums, hey, I could just go, you know what? It doesn't matter either way. We'll put the earnest money down. If they say no, whatever, we'll move on, right? Then we will find, right? We will find whatever it is we need to find April, end of April, early May. Not a big deal. But that's not it. Because we have aquariums. And somebody just said, sell your tanks and start over. Should I do that? I've done that before. And it's great, but I also don't want to lose a ton of money on these aquariums. I don't want to lose what I have invested in terms of time. So that's the stressor part. But here's the real big kicker. The home that we would really like is perfect in a sense. I hate to use that word, but it's almost perfect. It's on a half acre. It provides me a legitimate dedicated room for aquariums right across from my office. On the other side of the home, Wendy has her office. We still have a bedroom for Liam, and we still have a guest bedroom for the same price as what I'm paying right now. It's perfect. Didn't hear anything. The idea was I wasn't prepared to put a ton of money down right now because, well, I've just gotten really out and up above water from life-changing events. And it got really stressful. Do I just forget it and wait till May and then just hope that there's a home that is going to be there when we're ready and we can purchase it? Or is the market going to be even crazier and we're going to be battling and end up spending more money on a home that wasn't something that fit the bill 100% or close? Because buying a home is not like buying a new aquarium. It's not like buying a new t-shirt, right? It's really a bank account. It's an investment. So you want to make sure it's the right area. It's right for you. It's like, whew, you got to make sure that it's right. So I've got Cowboy Kent Rollins is in Oklahoma. Sell your tanks and start over. Folks are saying no. There are so many days that go around the pond. Plant your potatoes now before the pines drop their moon dust in the shadows of tranquil water. Lumpy Dog, I have no idea what you just said. I think it'll be crazier. Better off to do it while you have that breathing room. And so that's where I'm looking at. When the Fed turned around and said, we're going to run these interest rates all the way through, how long is that? And the interest rates are very attractive. So I get a call from my realtor and she said, I'm not hearing anything back from the builder. Doesn't mean that they're not accepting it. It's just weird. They've got a lot of homes that they're building at the time currently. They have some homes that are ready to be moved right into, and they're managing all that. And then I believe they had somebody down that was ill. And so she said, can you come up with $35 more $100? Sure, let me pull it out of my magic hat. Like I want this house. I want this house for us. I want this house for the aquariums. I want this house for my son. I want this house for my future. I want this specific house. But how do I come up with money I don't have? It's scary. Tiffany White just said, buying new construction can be a good choice in a crazy seller's market. And it truly is. This is the best case scenario. So guess what? I stressed. I panicked. I went into this zone of I've got to get $3,500 more dollars. Ninja Turtles came right off the shelf, selling, bang, 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 bang. Things that I didn't need, selling, bang, 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 bang. Ultimately, I was able to come up with that money. It was gut-wrenching. It was hard. I don't know how else to say it. I was stressed. Matter of fact, I talked to a close friend. I don't even know if they're still on the live stream. And they're like, don't worry, it will all work itself out. But it's easy to think from the outside that it will work itself out, right? Because you're not living that. And the aquariums that are supposed to make me feel tranquil were only making it more stressful. So we put the money. We haven't heard anything. Haven't heard anything. That was yesterday. So now it's a waiting game. And have you thought about shaving your beard? No, it's not really, it's not even a beard. It's not. And why MPI? So now it's a waiting game. So in my head, I go, okay, I could wait to hear from them and then go after another new build. New builds are typically better because when you factor in mortgage, the lender doesn't necessarily have to worry about property taxes in that initial set because the property taxes that they're filling in are from when the builder had it, right? So it's less expensive and ultimately you'll show better. That's not the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing is just securing exactly what we need and want. So the final piece is, well, guess what? You might just have to wait till May. That's the scariest part for me because interest rates may rise a little bit, which, okay, not a big deal. But I don't know if anybody watches the market. Literally, a home will go up and it will sell within 2 to 3 days. There are realtors that have a 3 to 7 day sell, you name it. Matter of fact, I just got a message that said, hey, I want to buy some Ninja Turtles. So it's crazy. And I don't want to be a part of that bidding war. That's just more stress on top of stress, right? So knowing what you know, watch Reddit and carefully invest accordingly. No way. None of that makes any sense to me because I guess the way I understand it is there's not even really a squeeze yet. When you do what it is those hedge funds do and what Reddit did, you're basically potentially buying shares of something that doesn't exist from the way I understand it. So that's tricky. So I stay out of any of that. I do collectibles and they do really well for me. But more importantly, I have a stable career. I love my job. And I do okay. Now, if YouTube was booming, it would be even better. But I have a lot of other things on my plate, and I use YouTube as something that's fun and I can connect. Now, some of the comments don't reflect that, but it is what it is. So you're right. I'm looking right now, and it is out of control. So knowing what you know, what would you do? My thought is maybe get rid of some smaller aquariums, a lot of them. Get rid of the desktop Powerball. I'm not winning the lottery. That's not guaranteed. So these are, where do I go from here? The other thing is maybe I should sell aquariums. These are hypothetical because these open top aquariums are beautiful, but oh my goodness, are they evaporating ridiculous top off machines. 6 gallons of water if I run my dehumidifier a day to keep it at 50% humidity in this house. And most of them are open top except for the Congo tank and my Vivariums. So what do I do? And it's not like anybody can give you the absolute right answer, right? Because there is no absolute right answer, except share this video for me. That would be greatly appreciated. Maybe this helps somebody. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know where it goes. I don't know what information I'm going to get from you folks. All I know is life can be amazing. And we can have these ideas and dreams about what we're going after, whether it's an aquarium or whether it's a new home with those aquariums. But at the end of the day, life happens. And that life is stress, is maybe financial instability. There's so many things that can play a role in that stress. And the best advice I can give you is control what you can control and have a support system or a rock that you can lean on when things get too heavy. That's the idea. So I'm getting moved to North Carolina. North Carolina is beautiful. I'm not moving out of the state. I'm having stress enough moving within the state, 15 minutes away. The evap is crazy. It definitely is. So it is just out of control. But I mean, this whole thing of Powerball, great. I wish I could control that. That would be absolutely fantastic. Life is the seed that we sow. Yeah, it is. I'm not moving to Canada. I'm sorry. Beautiful place, awesome people. I've got friends that are there. Not a place this guy will move to. What type of fish is that behind your left earlobe? So my left, or what you're seeing. I don't even know how this is coming out. So these are Tropheus, Morago, Tanzania. There's also 2 Limnio tilapia dardani or dardinii. I also have some Eremotus sinostictus, which are gobies. So basically like a small tilapia cichlid. I have Tropheus, and then I have gobies, freshwater gobies. I do have catfish if you see them. Well, actually, it'd be right here. I have 2 catfish that I've had the longest of all my fish. Matter of fact, I've had them as long as I've been doing YouTube. It's crazy. So in all seriousness, you'll make the best decision because it will be the only reality that you'll know. Don't fret about the things that didn't. I'm showing this. I'm showing this. I am legit showing this. My man. Or my girl. I don't know. Lumpy dog, my little pooch. I have no idea, but that's awesome. So, Jay, have you ever had Dubois cichlid? So those are Tropheus, and no, I've not, but I did do a video about taking an aquarium all the way to Iowa to somebody that had just beat cancer that got out of the Air Force. And that is what we put in his aquarium, and they are doing amazing. So I've handled them. I've had them in aquariums, but never personally owned. Actually, I take that back. Maybe I owned one way back like 10 years ago, but never had a colony, never watched them fully grow. Jay, sometimes when I'm in need of some inspiration, I watch your videos. I also love fish, and you lift me up. It will be okay. If it's meant to be, a door will open. Can I not open the door myself? I think that's where I struggle. I want to control that situation, and I can't. Oh, Sean from snowy New York City. I do not envy you. Somebody keeps saying that they live by Aquarium and they want to throw rocks in it. Come on. I have no idea. I have no idea. Rocco's Fish Room said, wow, I want to see that video. Rocco, I think it is, was it worth it moving an aquarium 1,000 miles? I forgot the exact title. Great video. I really enjoyed it. I did get a speeding ticket though, which was very fun. John Wagner, welcome to the live. Your pep talks to all of us are uplifting. I'm sure you'll make the right choice and keep all your tanks and build that new house. That is perfect. Casper coming through in the clutch. Have you thought about buying a van and living down by the river? M. Pie. No. No. I don't know. It's part of me says, yeah, let's not downsize in the sense of the aquariums, but let's offload them and then goes to, tanks with tops on it. But I don't want canopies that are wood like I've had in the past. I like the aesthetics. Ugh. So Chase just asked, he loves the profile of this tank. What tank is it? It is a Neptunian Cube USA. They sell them out of Houston. That aquarium place has them. They're great. I love them. I have 2 of them. I also have a water box. I have a Planet Aquarium. I also have Ultim Aquariums. They all are good in their own right. And ultimately, I can't say which one is the best. You got to find what's best for you, I guess. So maybe that's my own advice. Don't overthink it. Listen to your gut. Go with this decision and don't look back. But that's the thing. I'm still waiting on the Croix, mate. I'm waiting on the builders to tell me if my money's good enough, mate. Yeah. It is. I'm literally waiting for them to say yes or no. Talk about leaving you hanging. It's like, I put down 5%. Where you at? What you doing? Hey, is your code still good with Universal Rocks? So guess what? No, it's not. However, call them. Maybe they can help you out. But don't lie when you call them. I've had people call them and said, Jason, call you and he'll give you a discount. I didn't say that. I said, maybe they'll be able to help you out, but give them a call. Maybe we get to a point where there is another one, but it had run for so long that it just wasn't good for their business anymore. It makes total sense. Then hire someone to take... Hey, he's in Jersey over there. Huh, guy? Look, I'm not going to hire anybody to do no hitman style stuff, guy. But I'll tell you what, you bring me a slice of pie, boom, fold it, delish. I got 2 John Wagners. One's the son and one's the dad. No, these are not real stones. These are from Universal Rocks. So, what other advice would you give me? What you got? And if you're interested, you can become a member of this awesome channel. It's awesome for me, but it may be mediocre for you. But it's raw. There's no edits. It's me in all of its glory. So you get that. I don't know. What do you do? If you're in my shoes, what do you do? Am I sure these are fake? Yes, I drilled holes in them. They're a very high density foam with a coating that is very durable. The rock's on the bottom. Now, if I slide over this way, let's see if you can get it. Let's see if it'll focus. So, yes, I am sure they are fake. Now, there are some real rocks in there, but the big ones are not real. Are they better than Aqua Decor? It's personal preference. There are things that Aqua Decor does that Universal Rocks, I believe, don't quote me, showed them how to do. Aqua Decor does take more time to do a lot of detail work. However, I don't know what it's like to have them long periods of time. I know that Universal Rocks gets better over time because when algae and the fish are picking off of it and things, I mean, come together, it looks great. I don't know what to tell you if one is better than the other. I know Universal Rocks is not as expensive. It's made right here in the United States. They are from Australia. I do know that Aqua Decor is from Serbia, and that's where your product's going to come. But, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. That's a decision you have to make. I'm trying to find an analogy. Do you prefer the Pacific Ocean in Southern California, or do you prefer the Pacific Ocean in Northern California? Or Pacific Ocean on the west coast of Oahu, the island in Hawaii, or the east coast of Oahu? They're doing essentially the same thing. You got to come down to what you want to support, the amount of money you want to spend. How could I use Universal Rocks to build a retaining wall in my backyard? I don't know if you can. I'm sure you could do that. They have rock walls that you can purchase. Pacific or Atlantic? No, it's not the same thing as that. It would be more like Pacific Ocean, right? That's more just different parts of the Pacific Ocean is how I was going for it. Man, I want a tank like yours, Jay. You said you bought it in Houston. What was the name of where you got it again? Ivan, it is that aquarium place, and they sell Neptunian Cube USA. So that's the decisions. That's where I'm going from here. It's stressful, but it could be worse, right? Like maybe that's what I'm trying to get at is it could be worse. It really could be worse. And I've been in worse situations, and I've been in far worse positions, and I've made it through. But it's the way our mind works. What it says up there is just powered by Seche. It is legit the Seche logo on a big billboard type thing with a really cool humpback whale. Things will always work out fine. Stay positive and never look for the negative things. No, and then that's the idea. You don't want to look at the negative things because that's the way this world works. As a matter of fact, I was watching something today that said, if we fixate on the negative, a lot of other things become negative. Or now our minds are accustomed to focusing in on that negative. So if I said, I didn't like this stone bison, and then I gave you descriptive details, I told you why I didn't like it, I went fully in depth of why I didn't like it, and everything about it was negative. The next time you saw one, the first thought you have is what? Negative. So it's that old tale of, look at reviews. Look at when somebody says, hey, did you like this? Everybody is waiting to tell the horror story. This was the worst thing that I have ever purchased in my entire life. This stone bison is heinous. The green eyes have no detail. It looks like it was painted by a 2-year-old. It's horrible. Now, some 2-year-olds are good, but this one was not. There's never, you know what? It's a decent product. I don't ever see that. Like, this is a decent product. I got my money's worth and I enjoyed it. It's always horrible, 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 horrible. It was wonderful. A plus. Excellent, excellent. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Why? Why? Everything around us that's fed to us apparently is supposed to be positive, right? Positive influencing, marketing. If they said, come eat at Chicago's Pizza, where you'll experience the worst customer service and the absolute gross tasting pizza you've ever had in your life, you wouldn't go. You wouldn't. So there's a lot of negative around us, especially with social media and the way they drive data and things like that. So you have to remain strong in a positive way. Nothing is ever unicorn farts and rainbow vomit. It's not. It never will be. Man, people really want this Ninja Turtle stuff. Because we live in a world of extreme mindsets, one world polarization. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, it goes with anything that we do in life. I love aquariums. Love them. Don't know if I will never not have aquariums in my life or some sort of glass box. It brings me this therapy unlike no other. Even when I was transitioning to an apartment, I had small aquariums. It was very difficult at first because I enjoy large aquariums. But I've always had an aquarium for as long as really I can remember. And now working in the industry, it's crazy how negative folks can be. But it's not just this. It's everywhere. Like and this dawned on me the other day, and I don't know why we're talking about this, and we can transcend to another conversation with this, but I was standing in an aquarium shop, and there was somebody, I forgot, like arm's distance away, maybe a little bit more. And they said, man, you see that dead fish? It's ridiculous. And it dawned on me. I don't think I've ever been anywhere in a store, in a public setting, pre-COVID, post-COVID, during COVID, north of COVID, south of COVID, whatever you want to call it, Vid, where somebody has said, man, look at that beautiful aquarium. Zandu, man, thank you for the $3 super chat for, yes, a beautiful, unicorn farts and rainbow vomit. I appreciate it. So I don't think I've ever heard that. As a matter of fact, I was communicating with some folks virtually, right? Because that's what we're doing a lot. I think, is it Zandu? Like, am I pronouncing that right? Xanadu. Zando do. Work with me, please. I greatly appreciate it either way. But I was communicating with somebody, and I heard some terms that they gave me that I never heard before. And I said, whatever you do, wherever you go, smile. I was being sincere, 100% sincere. And if anybody knows me, they know I'll be like, hey, smile, it's better, right? Oh, now I've got everybody telling me how to pronounce this person's name, but that person. Let's see. Oh, my boss is here. Quick hide. Song or movie? I don't know. People tend to go on other people's opinions towards something and prefer to do that rather than experience or try it themselves to gain their own opinion these days. It's technological. Yeah, and I get it, but we've always been like that, right? We've always been like that. Before all the ad buys and all this data, like we're product. People are buying us, right? To utilize us, to market to us. But why? For the last how many years, they've been doing it the same way all the time. But now all of a sudden they need to do it this way. But anyways, let me get back to what I was talking about. So I tell this, and she was not identifying as anybody different than who she was. So all I said was, smile more. It'll be better. That's all I said. And then I got, don't you ever tell a woman to smile. I went, what? I wasn't telling that to you because of your gender. I was telling that to you as another human being. And I was like baffled. I ran to Wendy and I said, first off, can you explain to me what gaslighting meant? Because she said I was gaslighting her. Then I found out what it meant, and ultimately, based on the definition, she was gaslighting me. And I showed Wendy and I said, did I say something wrong? What did I do? Or did she just fall in a pile of hippopotamus shards? Like, I don't know. And it was funny because Wendy and I were joking, and I'm glad my life is not a reality show. And it just dawned on me that that's just the way we are on the internet. That is, because if I would have said, hey, smile, they'll either go and do something negative like flip me the bird, or they'll smile. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. Freshwater Canucks from Canada, eh? Sliding through. Welcome, my friend. So the where do we go from here title really plays into just about anything. Whether it's your business, whether it's a moving situation like mine, whether it's you being stagnant in keeping aquariums and knowing what you want to do next. Maybe it's just stagnant in a relationship or your goals. And the idea of where we go from here, it's got to come from here. It's got to be calculated. There has to be strategy. There has to be a plan in place. And you have to have a lot of hope in whatever it is that you're doing. Because without hope, really, what is it? You just, I don't care. Like, we have to have hope. We have to have hope in what we do tomorrow. We have to have hope in, where our career goes from here or where we want to be. We have to have those dreams. Right? And there's so many great quotes about dreams. But, nothing really, I guess nothing is impossible, so to speak, because who would have thought 25 years ago I can live stream simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook, let alone live stream? Who would have thought? Really, who would have? And the greatest things that have ever happened have come from somebody that has said, there's a need for that, right? Everybody was rocking horse and buggies. Hello. Toodles going to the local pub. They're like, man, it's taking forever. And then there was a car. I'm tired of taking my car from the eastern part of North America to the western part of North America. Well, we'll invent the aeroplane. Like, there's all of these crazy things to now we're firing rockets into space and they're landing back on a pad like a remote control car. Because there was hope that one day we can get to that point. There was dreams, there was a vision, there was strategy. There was building a team around you that was strong enough. It was not drink more, worry less. That can lead to a lot of problems. And Brandon Wood said something that's very good. Fail to plan, plan to fail. A failure to plan is ultimately a plan to fail. And I remember I was not wanting to transition out of the military, and somebody once told me something that has stuck with me since that day. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And it's not meant to be dark. And I'm going to leave you with this one. Preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best is not dark. That means that everything that you put into place right now, maybe it's a new job, maybe it's getting through this virus. I don't like using the P word. I think it's a drama-driven word, and that's my opinion. But we have to understand that we have to plan for the worst. What if my boss calls me tomorrow and says, I'm sorry, but there's no longer a position for you? I have to be ready for that. But I have to hope for the best and give everything I got into exactly what I want to achieve next. Somebody said, wait for the door to open. What if I kicked it open? What if I knocked on it? What if I blasted through, replaced it, dragged some people behind me, and kept moving through the door? There's a lot of things that we don't know. We don't know when all of this stuff ends. Maybe some folks don't know when they're going to be able to pay their next bill down, or when they're going to get the next meal. It's hard to even think about that. But you have to prepare yourself for the worst, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And you dang sure better hope for the best and do everything you can to make sure you've executed your plan. Everything truly needs a plan. It needs a strategy. C4 that door, blow it apart, walk through it, climb the mountain, and make sure that I think Lil Wayne, this is a horrible quote. Lil Wayne said in a rap song, the top gets higher the more that I climb. Because that means that the goals are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what we should be doing. Because if we're settling and it's mediocre, it's going to be meh. And everything that happens around us feels like it's to us. And it becomes an even, oh. So yeah, times are stressful. I know they are. We all live them. Even the richest people in the world have stresses. Even the richest people in the world have bills. I don't know how else to relate that. It happens. It really does. Do they have more money? Yeah, sure. But they still have stress. But as Brandon Wood just said, imagine getting exactly where it is that you wanted to go and turn around. Dang. I've come a long way. I know I have. Think about it. Do it right now. This is how we'll end the video. Do it right now. Think about yourself 20 years ago. And if you're 20, think about yourself 10 years ago. But think about yourself then. What were you doing? What were you thinking about? I mean, you have memories. What were those memories? Are you where you wanted to be? And if not, why? What could you have done differently? And there's things that are out of our control. I get it. But did you do everything you could to achieve everything that you wanted? I don't know. That's the idea. But don't forget to subscribe. I do this after every video. I greatly appreciate it. Hit the notification bell if you so desire, because it would make things really cool for me, because you'll know when I post a video. And if you've made the wrong decisions, don't make those decisions again. Because it's not an oopsie or an accident if you keep doing it over and over again. It's not. Can I mix saltwater and freshwater fish together? I don't even know why that question came on, but that's it in a nutshell. Go out and attack your goals, your dreams. Don't let anything around you hinder what you are trying to achieve. I don't care if you're working from home from now. Yeah, it stinks. I'm doing it. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. But we still got to crush goals. We still got to do awesome things. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing this video and ultimately being a part of this community, this hobby, this industry. It's awesome. And it wouldn't be as awesome if we didn't have all of the great things. Empire? No, you cannot do that. You know what's next. 1, 2, 3. Holla!